It's a great shot on goal. It could be there. There it is. Wow. There it is.
Great shot.
Enjoys the snap. Back to pass. Pressure coming. Unloads it. Caught at the 15 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Darien.
Bay checks out.
Saved by Escamilla.
And a great look, great effort by Lindsay Bennett.
Trying to get an aerial there. There it is. Yes.
The Darien Athletic Foundation is proud to present high school boys soccer this afternoon from the Oval here on the beautiful campus of Darien High School. It's the Darien Blue Wave taking on the Norwalk Bears. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Damian Andrew for DAF Media, and joining me on the broadcast this afternoon, a couple of soccer purists from the Darien Soccer Association, John Gallagher, the president of the Darien Soccer Association, and from the MLS, a Darien resident, Lino DeQualo. Gentlemen, welcome in. FCIAC boys soccer at its finest, two strong programs. The Blue Wave come in struggling a little bit this season, but they've played well of late. 3 wins in their last 6 games.
Well, it's nice to be here. This is John Gallagher. Been watching these guys for many years. Just had my son graduate last year, and I have my son behind me playing JV, so happy to be here.
Thanks also, Damien. This is Lino. An honor really to be here, have this opportunity to view the game and speak with both of you.
Well, I've been trying to get you guys on a soccer broadcast this fall. We've just started live streaming these games for the Darien Athletic Foundation. It's an exciting new venture, and so I'm glad to have both of you with us this afternoon. We are just underway in this one between Norwalk and Darien. Darien, of course, in the home whites, Norwalk in the road greens, and the Bears have already qualified for the FCIAC tournament, so they are in. Darien will not be going to the postseason this year, but they've played a lot of young players in the last several games. They've had some success. I mentioned 3 of their wins have come in the last 6 games. And so this should be an entertaining one this afternoon. The Norwalk Bears come in a little banged up, but always a strong team. Head coach Chris Lawton has done a wonderful job with this program through the years.
And I would say for the first couple of minutes here, Darien actually just had a good opportunity. Cole Bronca almost put one in the net with his head and then just called for a high kick.
I did go to the final last season and was impressed with the team. They were not the winners on the day, but did they graduate a number of seniors? That team
Quite
was pretty
few,
good.
Yeah.
Quite a few, yes.
Ah, okay. You know, they've had some challenges, but looks like they should be doing well. Looks like they're in what John Bradley would say is a 4-4-2 over here. Number 9.
A cross into the box cleared out by the Blue Wave. As I mentioned, Norwalk in the green, Darien in the white, moving from left to right, Norwalk moving from right to left on your screen. Damian Andrew, joined by Lino DeQualo, John Gallagher, for some FCIAC boys soccer this afternoon here from the Oval on the campus of Darien High School.
Norwalk definitely looks like they're pushing numbers forward here. Oh, one player dropped back. They only had 3 back.
David Voles, the senior keeper for the Blue Wave, has played well of late.
Yeah, quite an impressive 4 games, I think, giving up very few goals.
And that's what you would expect from your senior keeper. He's done a nice job for the Wave of late.
Seemed like the team has settled in here a little late. They didn't qualify for states like their plan was to at the beginning of the season, but I think the team's probably feeling pretty good about how they're finishing up.
It was a good run in the ball by Marcin. Is it pronounced
Yeah,
Marcin?
Max Marcin.
Yep. He found his co-striker. Fortunately, didn't do a little better with it. Are there any of the players that are projected to go on to play in college? Do we know if any of the seniors, John?
Not many of the Darien seniors are going to play in college.
Okay.
I think Darien senior goal scorer this year, Blake Somi. You'll see him up front there. I think he's a multi-sport athlete.
Terrific lacrosse player in the spring, to your point, John Gallagher. Had 2 goals in a big 3-0 win over arch rival New Canaan.
Yeah, had a great header, and I think it was a header and a great volley, if I recall.
Always a big win for Darien when they can beat their rivals, New Canaan.
There's a Liam Flaherty with a chest trap. Looks like a foul going Norwalk's way.
Guys, we're using multiple cameras this afternoon for this live stream. Jack Roberson on our main cam at midfield. Will Olson on our sideline cam, bringing you all the pictures and the angles of this one. No score between Darien and Norwalk early in the first half. And the Bears on the attack here.
Seems like Darien seems to be pretty well organized right now. Good effort.
Good combination play by Norwalk. Do they play the traditional 2 45-minute halves, or is there some other?
Two 40-minute halves.
Okay. Unlimited substitutions?
Unlimited substitutions. Free kick here at midfield for the Blue Wave.
We're looking for Blake here, or Johan. You've taken a dive there, Lena?
No, I don't think like any other forward I've ever taken a dive.
Protecting your body by falling down.
Right.
Norwalk always has some skilled players, especially on offense, technically sound. As I mentioned at the outset, head coach Chris Lawton has been with the program for a number of years. Bears always seem to be in contention in the FCIAC, have made runs in the state as well. And of course, John Bradley in 2015, just a couple of years ago, made a great run to the state finals, lost in the championship match, and he has done a terrific job with this boys program here at Darien since coming over from the Darien girls program, where he built the girls team into a contender in the FCIAC. So the throw in here. Jonathan Roach for Norwalk, near sideline. Joshua Velez. Over to Sebastian Echeverry.
Good effort.
Good.
And that is over the crossbar. So an opportunity early for the Norwalk Bears. Flies over the crossbar. 31-10 left in the first half.
Almost got David there. Didn't expect the shot. Almost caught him,
Out of
over.
position.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, I've certainly learned this season you have to be so focused in as a goalie, even though you're not seeing, what is it, less than a minute that you actually touch the ball in a match or thereabouts. But man, oh man, you're the quarterback back there.
Well, the very good ones will actually act like a last defender. They should be out closer to their group and be anticipating any kind of balls through. Someone like Neuer from the German national team probably does it as good as anyone in the world.
I'm sure we can get some MLS references in here this afternoon too, Lino.
Well, we definitely will work on that. We'll definitely work on that.
There's an effort.
In the clear by the Bears. So, John, early impressions here in the first half. We're 10 minutes in between these two FCIAC rivals.
I'd say both teams had a couple opportunities. No heavy rhythm between each team. They seem to be well organized, and no great breaks here. But I give a slight edge to Norwalk's skill and ability to knock the ball around like they're doing right now.
This is a Norwalk team that is a little banged up late in the season, as we have a cross here into the box.
Good defense.
And a good defensive effort from the Blue Wave. Echeverry here to Velez. Wide of the far cross, or for a far post rather. As I mentioned, late in the season, these guys play 3 times a week. Takes its toll. Norwalk a little banged up. 4 injured players that will not play in this one.
Now you said earlier you said they qualified for FCIACs.
They've qualified for FCIACs and states. I believe they're 6th right now in the FCIAC standings. Top 8 are in.
Sophomore Cole Bronco with a nice pass.
Here's Echeverry on the near sideline.
A little too much space for Norwalk right now. I think our defense is sitting back maybe a little too far.
Yeah, when we're winning the ball, we're not possessing it. We're not giving the defense a break. It seems like they're trying to get out on the counter.
So a free kick here for the Bears. No score first half. 27:45 left. Matthew Hernandez.
Uh-oh.
And a nice play by Voles.
Little bend to that ball, a little wind.
Yep, gave it a good effort.
Yep.
There is a slight breeze here at the Oval this afternoon on what is an absolutely beautiful day for soccer. Michael Ruiz midfield to the far sideline.
Offsides.
Offsides is the call.
Coach Bradley relatively quiet over there. Hands folded.
Well, one thing we know about Coach Bradley, John, animated to say the least at times on the sideline. Coach Bradley has done a number of our broadcasts of the girls' games and absolutely loves it. Loves doing it, loves talking the game, obviously.
I listened to the girls' game. It must have been late last week. He did a great job.
Yeah,
he's excellent.
He does a great job. Plus, you throw in that English accent, and he puts him over the top.
Probably wanted to keep that one simple and just give it to his right back, but instead look to launch it past the defender there. A lot of times that's what younger players will look to make the more difficult pass. They should just make the simple one.
Justin Vandegraff, one of the Darien seniors, throws it in.
We'll get a corner out
And
of
a
it.
corner opportunity here for the Blue Wave.
Good effort there.
I think Liam Flaherty is taking a lot of the corners this year, stepping up right now.
Flaherty, one of those underclassmen that we talked about at the outset that Coach Bradley has sprinkled in, especially late in the season. Number 2, just a sophomore. Nice ball into the box. Michael Hidalgo on the run on the far sideline is tracked down from behind, though.
Great defensive play there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah. Oh, good effort. Good try.
And Cole Judkins, the senior keeper for Norwalk, corrals that. Here's Echeverry near sideline.
Try to hold on to it. Huh?
He's through.
Oh.
Wasn't sure if he was
Staying on.
offsides.
Yeah,
Everyone just
yeah,
stopped for a
stopped.
second, but looked like it was a clear shot on goal. It turns into a goal kick.
Of course, Darien coming off a terrific senior night. Friday, a win over St. Joe's. It's always nice to get a win on senior night. They honored their seniors before the game, pre-game ceremonies. Lino DeQualo, John Gallagher, and Damian Andrew joining you this afternoon for this DAF media broadcast of high school boys soccer, FCIAC matchup between Darien and Norwalk.
How many more matches do they have in this season?
This is it. This is the regular season finale for Darien.
No consolation matches after? Oh.
Well struck ball in. Hard to defend.
So another corner opportunity for the Blue Wave here. Set piece is obviously so huge at any level of soccer, right, Lino?
It is. I forget the percentage, but it's higher than you would think of the number of goals that are scored from a set piece rather than from the run of play. I want to say around 30%.
John, how much time in practice is devoted to set pieces, would you say?
Well, there's a few players on the team usually are the specialists. Usually you want the guy up there who's not only practiced enough but has the confidence to step up there and drive it in a goal. But it's a specialty. You've seen that certain players on even at this level step up, and they've got an amazing ability to do things with the ball, move it around, and
neither team with really any great opportunities in the first half so far of this one. There's Echeverry near sideline, number 9 for Norwalk, and he sails that over the crossbar.
Yeah, they seem to be adding numbers to this left side. It's a constant point of attack.
Lino, the U.S. men's national team could use some help, but MLS is doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, I have to say we're pleased. Our regular season just ended last night, and so our playoffs are set, which begin this Wednesday evening, Wednesday and Thursday.
There's Justin Vandegraff into the corner, and a nice tackle there by Jonathan Roach. Vandegraff, throw in.
timeout of some sorts.
And clock starts up again. Van de Graaff the throw in. Somi trying to settle.
So strong.
Yeah.
He is a terrific lacrosse player. His dad played college lacrosse as well. A lot of multi-sport, you know, in this day and age of specialization, we've seen a lot of multi-sport athletes. The girls soccer team has a number of players who play basketball in the winter, lacrosse in the spring. And here's Cole Judkins, the goalie kick across midfield. From one goalie to another. Voles sending that into the
It's a good settle.
Yep.
Norwalk half of the field. Here's Somi.
Yeah, Darien seems to have settled in a little bit.
There's
Not
a push.
giving them as much space.
You can see a little bit of a momentum shift the last few minutes here in Darien's favor.
Yep.
This would be a huge win for them this afternoon. Nice way to end the season. Free kick. Sails over the crossbar. And I believe, John, that was Charlie Sears who took that free kick. Number 30, another one of the underclassmen, just a sophomore. He'll be back for Coach John Bradley next season.
I'm sure he's set up for that ball saying, I'm going to put it just over the top of their heads and it's going to curl into the back corner. But and then it just sails. It happens.
Yeah, they're pressing further up the field and causing turnovers in better positions.
There's Sebastian Echeverria.
You mentioned him a lot.
Yeah.
He
penetrating very well.
Skillful player.
He had an older brother who I also believe played for Coach Lawton.
Maybe he had an uncle who played. Was that Echeverria?
Is that really him?
No, I'm kidding.
That would be an amazing coincidence.
So a corner opportunity here for the Bears. This one into the box, and Voles comes out and goes up and gets it. The regular season finale for the Blue Wave this afternoon here on their home turf at the Oval in front of Darien High School on a beautiful fall day. John Gallagher, Lino DiQualo, Damian Andrew joining you for this live stream. Brendan Ross is our director. Jack Roberson on our main camera. Will Olson on our sideline camera.
How is the girls team doing?
The girls team is having quite a season. They will play in the FCIAC tournament. They'll play in the state tournament.
Their
12
wins.
Their record escapes me. I will find that out. Their record does escape me. I believe they
12 and 3 might
double.
be the number.
That does sound like a fantastic season so far.
And they have some tremendously gifted players, both in the backfield and up front. 10-2-3 is the girls' record. Some tremendous players on offense up front.
They have outside the box.
Should be just outside. Oh, he's calling a
That's
penalty kick. I think they need instant replay here.
That's one thing we don't have just yet. We're getting there.
We just instituted it this past July, and it's worked out terrifically well in MLS. And I think soon every league will have it.
Every league will have it. Sure.
It helps correct these big decisions. That looked to me just outside.
Yeah, and it was soft, so
Yeah.
if it's close, if I was the ref, you know, I don't want to give a PK to change the game on a soft foul that far away.
Yeah.
So a penalty shot here for the Bears. And that is a goal. Freddie Rosales, the junior, puts it in the back of the net past Voles off the penalty stroke. Or penalty shot, I should say. The girls' team has a defender who's an All-American.
Wow.
Emily D'Annunzio. She will play in an All-American game coming up in December. In fact, here's the strength right now. Girls soccer in the FCIAC. 3 FCIAC players will play in that All-American game.
That's quite an achievement.
Wow.
A forward from Fairfield Ward, a player from St. Joe's, and Emily D'Annunzio from Darien.
Is Emily a senior?
Emily is a senior. And you're going to ask me where she's going.
Yeah. Or have they not decided yet?
My producer, Brendan Ross, will have that answer. She's going to Colgate.
Terrific school.
Very good. So for MLS instant replay, what are they using it for?
They just capture
game.
3 or 4 major decisions: penalty kicks, red cards, goals, and offsides.
Offsides, wow.
Yeah.
I hear more about it, but is MLS the pioneer in as far as any leagues doing it?
Well, we were definitely one of a handful of leagues selected by IFAB, which is the arm of FIFA that oversees officiating, to try it as an experimental one-season opportunity to see how it works, and they will take the information and see how it worked in the leagues, the various leagues that have tried it, and we'll decide from there whether to allow it worldwide, essentially.
Wow.
I think they've been pleased so far with the way it's gone on in MLS. A couple of other countries have had challenges, but I think they weren't as prepared as our league. And
Well, to your point of a couple moments ago, if Major League Baseball is going to implement instant replay and use it, just about every other pro league will ultimately get there.
yeah,
And it's been a success in MLB.
in this day and age, it's just hard to see how you can't benefit from using it in any sport.
I always thought about the tennis game when that they have that quick video, that ball just
the challenge
before the line or at the line. It's like, you got to be able to do that quickly in any sport.
Yeah.
Big
This is
tackle
where
there from-
I'd like to see Darien step up a little bit. They're trying to absorb the pressure, but sitting back actually creates a little bit too much space for Norwalk to come through.
And it seemed for a few minutes there they had been pushing up a little bit more and were taking the game to Norwalk. But you're right, now they've left too much of a gap between the defenders and the midfielders. It's allowing Norwalk to get into those soft pockets.
Yep.
Foul there on Darien.
Are most of the players on Darien multi-sport players, or is that an exception? Someone like Somi?
I would say it's 50-50. Looks like some subs coming in for Darien.
There's about 6 players on this Darien roster who play other sports. A couple of baseball players too in the spring. We mentioned Blake Somi, lacrosse player.
There is that debate out there whether they should be exclusive or not. I just think at their age, they're still teenagers. There's no harm in playing different sports. It probably is a net positive rather than negative.
It's a debate that's really picked up over the last few years. John, your thoughts on that with specialization?
Well, actually, as you're talking about, I'm thinking of some of the changes in or being voted for in college soccer. They're trying to make it a one long season throughout the whole year. I'm not too familiar with what's going on, but I know there's been some big proponents to help U.S. soccer and try to get college players prepared for the MLS or beyond, and part of that would include playing year-round or during the full school year instead of one season. So that probably pushes more towards specialization for most of these kids. But that's a tough one. It's hard to say to specialize. I'd say if you're going to get, it's so competitive, especially for soccer at a young age, to be able to learn with your feet. You really have to do it all year round. Not to say you can't play other sports, but you need to be playing quite a bit of soccer.
I heard about this proposal at the collegiate level to move the season, so it has an opening period of August to October or November, and then obviously they break and they start again for the second half of the season, January to April, to better align it with what's happening in the U.S. Developmental Academy space.
Jonathan Roach looking to get off a shot.
Not a bad little try there.
Not a bad try. Right at the far post. We're under 8 minutes left in the first half. 1-0 Norwalk thanks to a Freddie Rosales goal off the penalty shot. There's Charlie Sears across midfield.
A few sophomores just stepped in to the game here. Jack Holly, Will Henry Harmon.
This is a rather young lineup that's out on the field right now for Darien, as Coach Bradley continues to tinker with his lineup, his rotation. John Bradley getting a little bit more animated over there on the sidelines.
It's good that he wore the orange top. There's no mistaking where he's at right now. Is he able to have the team play together in the spring, or is that not possible?
I don't believe that's possible, John. You might be able to better answer that than I.
It's not organized through the high school.
Right, it's not organized
they're
through the high
seasonal.
school.
And players are off doing, like we discussed, other sports, or they're playing with their premier teams or club teams.
It's not the easiest thing to have them come together for a couple months here, August, September, and October, unless the kids are also all playing together in their various other leagues.
Yeah, it's a compressed season. 2 or 3 games a week. Schoolwork, everything. It's a lot.
There's Michael Hidalgo.
Yeah, he's got a lot of individual skill. That number 11 for the Bears, is that Hidalgo?
That's Hidalgo,
Yeah.
Michael Hidalgo, the junior.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I'd like to see Darien maybe put their foot on the ball, maybe go backwards or side to side. It looks like every ball is a couple of touches and then forward.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with John there. You just need to keep it simple. Passes sometimes work a lot better than going forward.
Here's Hidalgo.
Good defensive play. Good defensive play.
Rolls across the end line.
Hard to beat Connor Olson, the right back for Darien. Quite an athlete himself. And I also think another lacrosse player.
Darien, Norwalk, first half of this FCIAC boys soccer matchup, 1-0 Bears. Regular season finale for the Blue Wave.
Yeah, I think the ref missed that one. Yeah, the two green players ran into each other. Assumed that the Darien player caused the foul, but I don't think that was right.
This will result in another free kick for Norwalk. Freddie Rosales, he scored that goal off the penalty shot earlier in the first half.
Just going to pass it.
Whoa. Oh boy.
The cross, and that is another goal for the Bears.
That was a well-designed free kick there, though it did look like we had chances.
And I believe that was number 16, Iovane Robledo.
Seen that play in high school a few times and works pretty effectively, but that was well done by Norwalk. Executed it nicely.
So under 4 minutes left to go in the first half, Norwalk has itself a 2-0 lead here on Darien.
Have they ever thought about having the clock count up like they do in most other leagues?
Never understood that. Same in college, right?
Yeah.
So guys, I had Ivane Robledo, the guy who just scored for Norwalk, out for this game as one of their injured players, but one of the managers just told me that he actually thought he had a fracture, was taken to the hospital earlier, and found out he did. So
good for him.
He gets back out on the pitch and finds himself a goal. Here's Hidalgo.
Good defending, just to get an arm on him.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And a great save by Voles. Another save for Voles. So would I be correct in saying coming off his line, coming out a little bit on that, make that save?
Yeah, needed to. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to save. Point blank shot.
Very nice save.
Yep. Good anticipation by the goalkeeper.
As we mentioned at the outset, Voles has played well in these last few games for the Blue Wave, the senior keeper. Under 2 minutes left, 2-0 Bears.
How's the JV team doing this year, John?
I don't know their record, but they've had a couple of wins and many close games and not so close games.
And are they all freshmen and sophomores or a mix of?
It's one freshman and all sophomores and juniors. Yeah, I'm thinking next year for the with the varsity team. There's quite a good
crop.
sophomore group coming up. There's quite a good bunch of juniors that'll be good seniors next year. That's well done, Johan.
Johan Dribatelli, he'll be back next year, just a junior. I think the future, John, is bright for John Bradley's programs. Really outstanding young players, underclassmen, already on this team.
Yeah, usually you see high school, you had a couple sophomores that join a varsity team, and they join, and the speed is just not what they expected, and it takes them a few games, even halfway through the season, to get comfortable with it, and then you start to see those sophomores that rise to the occasion, and you see who the next generation is of your team.
That's the nice thing about freshmen and sophomore. They become sophomores and juniors. And that'll do it from for the first half from the Oval here at Darien High School. The Norwalk Bears up 2-0 on Darien at the half. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Brendan Ross. He'll have a Blue Wave Sports update, and then we will have second half action here on the DAF Media Network.
I'm Brennan Ross here with your Darien Blue Wave scoreboard. We start off in the pool where the girls swim and dive team is coming off a tough loss and undefeated Wilton 106-80. The Wave are 5-2 on the season. Their next meet is at New Canaan on October 25th. On to the turf we go. Girls field hockey is a tough loss last Thursday at Staples 2-1. The girls are currently 11-2 on the season and are tied for first in the East Division alongside Norwalk. Their next game is tonight at 7 at Brian McMahon. Moving on to football now, the Blue Wave football team remains undefeated after shutting out Fairfield Ward 17-0 over the weekend. This win extends Wave's win streak to 31 games. Next up for the men in blue, a trip to Trumbull Friday night. In other high school football news, the Turkey Bowl will be held at Boyle Stadium this year, as well as next year. Moving on to the pitch now, the girls soccer team is going to have a strong season this year under Coach Lee Parsons. The Wave played Conference Power St. Joe's to a 1-1 draw in its last game. The tie moves their record 10-2-3 on the season. Darien has qualified for the FCIAC playoffs, which start Friday. The next game is tomorrow at Norwalk under the lights. Down the path we go to cross country. Both boys and girls FCIAC championships were held last week. The girls team finished 9th place in the FCIAC with top runs coming from Sophie Hill, who landed herself on the all FCIAC second team. The boys finished in 6th place in the FCIAC. Top runs came from Griffin Ott and Jack O'Keefe, who both landed themselves also in the all FCIAC second team. Now we go into the gym where we go to finish off the girls volleyball. The girls just came off a strong win against Weaver last Thursday, 3-0. They're currently 12th place for the FCIAC with a 5-8 record. The next game is tonight at West Hill. Well, that is your Blue Wave scoreboard for the past week. I am Brennan Ross, and we'll be back for Darien Boys Soccer in a bit.
We are back here on the DAF Media Network, about ready to start the second half between Darien and Norwalk FCIAC Boys Soccer. Damian Andrew alongside Lino DeQualo and John Gallagher of the Darien Soccer Association. Of course, Lino works in the MLS offices. Soccer in this country at its highest level. Truly American football.
The other sport has the wrong name for sure.
And we are underway Charlie Sears serves one up over midfield, and there's Hidalgo. Nice tackle by Flaherty, and finds Somi down the near sideline, who takes a tumble. Blake Somi, John, as you know, has been a little bit banged up at times this season, and he is a true competitor. It was nice to see him have those 2 goals in that win over New Canaan 2 weeks ago.
He's took a little hit there, a fair tackle. Seems to be holding his hamstring or knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Definitely
walking around gingerly. You hate to see that. Here's Hidalgo. And I know, Lino, you were impressed with number 11, Michael Hidalgo of Norwalk in the first half.
Yeah, definitely he looks to be a skillful player. It does look like Norwalk has a couple of players with good individual skill. And whether that, you can build on that and it translates into being a good team player, it's another question, but.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the first half, Norwalk through the years has had some really technically gifted players on the pitch.
Yeah, Echeverry seems to be a good player as well.
Here he is, trying to get rolls across the end line. Darien in the home whites, Norwalk in the road greens. Norwalk moving from left to right in this second half, Darien from right to left. Little overcast now, supposed to be a real rainy day tomorrow here in southwestern Connecticut.
Noticed that. Max Marchin was also, I thought he had a good first half until they took him out, but he seems to have some good skill and ability. Seemed to be left up on his own for too much of that period, but if he's coming back, it's a good player to have returning for the coach.
The 2 Norwalk goals in the first half scored by Freddy Rosales and Iovane Robledo. Michael Ruiz at midfield. And Flaherty steps in.
Also, I think it's a good move by coach to get the younger players in these games. Too often you see there's this pressure to try to win or get results, and rather than look for the future and look to build a team for success, it's always a good strategy to get the young guys in at all levels.
No, absolutely. And with this being the regular season finale, these minutes can be valuable. Yeah, right. So we're in the early going here of the second half between Norwalk and Darien. And here's Echeverry on the run, and a nice tackle there by Charlie Sears.
Very nice tackle.
Cameron Rea always hustling on the pitch, number 15.
He's out there to just create havoc up front.
Unfortunately for Coach Bradley, he is a senior, so he will not be back next season. But he's always seemingly around the ball.
Did the boys team get to play any of the games under the lights this year?
They
or
did.
Was it just the
they
girls?
did. They played last Friday night, senior night. It was under the lights, so a historic night for the boys team. Not only was it senior night, but they also played their first ever night home game, foul there on Norwalk.
I thought it was great to get the lights up to the stadium, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to get there to a football game or a soccer
Well,
game yet. But
at some point, you got to make a trip there because these lights are really, really special. LED lights. Darien is only the second high school now in the state to have these particular kind of lights, and they really pop.
I was definitely very pleased to see it. I thought in a town like this with the sports that we have, it was a shame that we didn't have it a little earlier, but it's great to have it now.
Yeah, I was
just
able to
wanna
get to a couple of them, both the girls and the boys, and it's a great family night out.
Were you
Food
at
there? It's great.
Were you at that Danbury 1-0 win?
Yeah, but I left just before the
The goal right before Katie
I
Ramsey's
left,
goal.
But what a great night. You know, kids running around everywhere. It was very loud. It was excellent.
The football team, second week of the season, played Brian McMahon under the lights. First ever night home game, and the crowd was abuzz, to say the least. The throw-in on the far side of the field for Darien.
I have a 9-year-old boy, Luca, that plays soccer, and I have two twins that will be 4 years old next year, so I hope to take advantage of it then. Oh, what an excellent pass. Did he fit? Oh, it was just a little too far.
And it was a nice cross by Hidalgo to Matthew Hernandez, number 19, on the far post. So another opportunity there on a nice run by Hidalgo.
Yeah, you had the choice to either take more than touch and maybe go for goal, or I think the dangerous ball right across the 6 in front of the goalie was probably the right choice, just outside. Just missed the on-running.
Yeah, it's a little
player.
long. Just a little
Here's
long.
Sears. So we have something in common then. I have 6-year-old twin boys.
Wow.
Yours are
so you're a little bit ahead of me in that situation. Yeah, it's not easy then. Bringing them around and getting out at night.
Usually when I get them up in the morning, I'm with them in the morning. My wife works in the morning.
Yeah.
And the common refrain is, "Daddy, I don't want to go to school."
Oh boy, you have 2 of them saying that.
2 of them saying that. And they play off each other.
Did you say they were boys?
Boys.
Boys.
2
Okay.
boys.
We have
all
boys,
boys.
girls. But
Here's Hernandez.
oh, great pullback. This is
Echeverria.
trouble. Yeah.
And that's a goal for the Bears. John, you had a little bit of a better look at that. Was that Echeverria that scored that, or was that deflected in off one of his teammates?
I'm sure he had something to do with it, but I'm not sure who scored.
I think Echeverria scored, and it just hit the Darien defender on the way
Okay,
in. It would have
okay.
gone in either way. This is my angle here.
So Sebastian Echeverria for Norwalk scores the Bears' 3rd goal of the afternoon, 3-0. Norwalk up on Darien.
This is half the Jack's shoreline team.
Johan just showing some frustration there.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the football team playing under the lights for the first time against Brian McMahon earlier this season. They won that game 47-0. One thing that I did not know until John Bradley got on one of these broadcasts, John Bradley actually played a little bit of college soccer at Ithaca, left the soccer program, and then he kicked for the Ithaca Bombers football team.
I did not know that.
And for anybody who follows Division III football, Ithaca's had one of the real powerhouse programs in the Northeast through the years. So,
Did he say what his percentage was that season?
he did not. We did not get to that. He left it just at I kicked for the Bombers. There's another run by Norwalk.
See if Norwalk's got another trick up their sleeve.
Yeah. I think it's okay. It's better to play the younger players and have them experience what this game looks like with a good team rather than be concerned about what the result ends up being. I think coaches still go back to that point. Smart move. even though you see they're under pressure here, this is going to be a good lesson for them.
Here's Hernandez, Michael Hernandez, who has played well in this game.
Very good touch, smart player.
Nice chip to Hidalgo. Lino, I wanted to ask you, how is it going with having 2 MLS teams now in the New York metropolitan market? You've got, of course, the Red Bulls have been a staple in the league for a while now, and then you've got NYCFC. Have been wanting to get to a game there at Yankee Stadium. Great facility, obviously. But how's it working out with having 2 teams now in the New York metropolitan market?
I think everyone is delighted with it. The Red Bulls have been doing very well the past few seasons, and the introduction of New York City FC gives them a natural rival in the area. And they play over in the Bronx, obviously, and they're drawing from a different area over on the east side of Manhattan and Queens, Brooklyn, etc. And they have a terrific following, and I think they even get people from out here in Connecticut. It's a pretty easy shot into Yankee Stadium. I'm a season
ticket holder right here.
Yeah. I've gone to a number of games there, and it's easier actually to get there than it is to get to Red Bull Stadium from this area.
Very easy.
Yep. And so they do very well in terms of support, and now they've put a good team on the field. So I don't think anyone could be more delighted, especially in a big market like New York.
And I would think that speaks to the growth of the MLS too, right? I mean, obviously, if you're going to have 2 teams, you know, New York, Los Angeles would be the markets. But the growth of the MLS to have 2 teams in the New York metropolitan area is a pretty big deal, I would imagine.
It is, and you can tell just by they played each other 3 times this season, 3 times last season. Every game has been sold out, and it has done terrifically in viewership as well. Oh, that was a great turn by...
Nice turn by Echeverry.
Echeverry, great turn.
Great turn. Just wide of the near cross, or the near post, I should say.
Yeah, and we're also introducing another team into the LA area. LAFC starts this January, and their coach is Bob Bradley, and they'll be playing in the same market as the Los Angeles Galaxy.
Michael Bradley, is he still with the U.S. men's national team?
He is. He's both with them, and he's obviously a captain of Toronto FC, which had a great season this year. He was a leader on that team. One of the top seasons of all time in MLS. One of the most points, most goals, all sorts of records they broke this year.
You guys are both soccer guys, so let me ask you, what now is the next move for the U.S. men's national team?
Oh boy, that's a good question. You know, they have to, my 2 cents are you have to figure out who the leader, whether it's a sporting director, technical director, who is going to lead the organization and what kind of vision, and have they identified the challenges and what is their plan, and then you can evaluate them. So I think that's probably one of the first steps. I don't know, John, if you think otherwise, but it's a complex one. That's my 30,000-foot answer.
John, we have 30 minutes.
Well, it seems to be that maybe change is good, and what. But there's a lot of things Lino just mentioned about leadership, and it's going to be about not only leadership, but what kind of system are you hiring from Europe? Are you building it from the youth-based system, and how the youth system is structured? The U.S. has several regions, and how they're structured and how they're independent, or I always thought that the U.S. is just too big, and it's very hard to manage such a large space with almost too much space and too many players. You almost could have 4 national teams and 4 regions to compete. But again, we can go on forever. But there's a lot of good players coming through the system. There's a U17 World Cup just this past month. U.S. did very well. I think they just lost in the quarterfinals, but. Some very good young players on that team, and hopefully that's the next generation.
Damian Andrew, joined by Lino DeQualo of the MLS, John Gallagher, the president of the Darien Soccer Association. Thanks for joining us on this DAF Media live stream. FCIAC Boys Soccer, Darien, Norwalk. The Bears up 3-0. 2 goals in the first half and a second half goal by Sebastian Echeverri. And a corner opportunity for the Norwalk Bears. Matthew Hernandez in the far corner, on the far sideline, serves it up.
Is every sport and every game streamed like this?
Every game is not streamed. We've done, but we try to get to as many as we can. Try to get some rivalry games, some competitive games against teams that are, having good seasons. We've done about 6 or 7 girls soccer games. We've done about 6 field hockey games. The field hockey team having another great season. Head coach Mo Minikis does a tremendous job with the Blue Wave field hockey program. Has been doing it now for almost 2 decades. And they, although they're coming off a loss to Staples, they're having another great season. One of the top-ranked high school field hockey teams in the state. We've done, I think this is our 4th boys soccer game. We've done some girls volleyball. And you brought up in the first half just the success of the broad-based athletic program here at Darien. Maybe one of the most successful through the years has been the girls volleyball program, which has won FCIAC championship after FCIAC championship, having a little bit of a down year this year. But we've done some of their games, and we've done some high school football games,
and
obviously.
Is there, we met some of your producer here, and
yep.
Or is it a club that's helping you out?
It's a club it basically is a club. That's the way you could kind of put it, John.
So the high school, you
so
can
the
look
high
up
school
clubs
students,
and you're going to find. And what would you call the name of it, or is it developing?
DAF Media,
Okay.
but we're kind of developing it.
Yep.
It's a fluid situation, but it is DAF Media and the Darien Athletic Foundation. It's really an exciting vision that they had to live stream athletic events here at the school. It's kind of their own in-house network, if you will. And we've been growing it and getting a number of students involved already. And I know I'm having a lot of fun.
I think it's a terrific thing to do. That's why I asked. You have so many great sports to do.
After 21 years in local TV news as a sports broadcaster, and a penalty shot here is good by the Norwalk Bears. Michael Ruiz.
What do you think about the call there, John?
It's a second PK where you're at the player's got his back to the goal, and
yeah, he was going nowhere,
right?
Yeah.
And again, more of a clumsy entanglement of legs than a PK. So
what I thought was odd was the referee from the other side is the one that called it, even though we have a ref down here that didn't. I don't know, it seemed very soft. I would not have called it myself. Not because of any bias.
Well, it's certainly easy to see why this Norwalk Bears team is on its way to the postseason in the FCIAC and States skilled group. They lead Darien 4-0 this afternoon here from the Oval in front of Darien High School. John, you mentioned some of the members of our crew this afternoon. And while we have a couple moments, we will mention them. Jack Roberson is on our main camera, our midfield camera. Will Olson is on our sideline camera, and Brendan Ross is directing, and they have done a tremendous job. The last couple of broadcasts we've done, we've gone to multiple cameras, which, as you know, being involved in the MLS, the more cameras, the better the the broadcast.
I have
gonna ask
Better
how
angles.
I watched some college soccer myself, streaming, and I was happened to watch a game the other day, and the home team that was hosting had an instant replay within seconds of the goal or whatever, and it was still on a streaming basis. So you're shaking your head like I know you want to get there, but it was amazing. It was just a quick instant replay because a lot of these streaming you enjoy the game, but you miss a goal or whatever.
Sure.
You want to see that instant replay. So
Sure. Well, that's the reason now for the multiple cameras, because obviously we can do isolations on players, and eventually we're going to get to the replay. As a matter of fact, our director Brendan Ross is working on replay as we speak. So that's going to be something that we're going to have certainly when the winter sports season gets underway and in the spring.
Have they thought about? Do they collect statistics on the matches too?
So we have not done that yet. A running,
Yep.
you know, there's unfortunately these high schools don't have sports information people, but that's something that we need to grow and have somebody doing stats, you know, during a game, which would be most helpful.
You're doing it. That cost is coming down a lot. We see it with a lot of our teams that do it. They're collecting the information even during training sessions.
Sure,
now.
sure. And just little tidbits that help a broadcast, injuries and the like.
Yep.
Connor Olson just making a run on the right side. I think it's a lot of him last year making those runs. This year he's been in a few positions, started the game at right back, and it's been very helpful in just making sure their defense has been stronger the last several games. But I could see him playing back up front next year.
Connor Olson, only a junior, number 7. He'll be back next season for John Bradley's team. John Bradley in his 6th year as the head coach of the Darien boys soccer team. As we mentioned in the first half, made a terrific run with the 2015 team all the way to the state finals. I believe, if memory serves me correct, they lost to Glastonbury 1-0 in that game.
In the state finals, I think it was more like
3 or 4-1.
Was it?
3-1.
Yeah, I went to the game.
Was it
actually.
3-1?
Yeah, 3 or 4-1.
3 or 4-1. But it was a good game.
It was Glastonbury, though, right? Was I right on that?
I
Yes.
believe so. Yeah. It was a good game. The other team was very good. No, for the longest while, I think it was 1-0.
Yeah, it was 1-0, maybe at half, and
Yeah.
I think we
Last
missed it.
15.
We missed a goal to
Yes.
start the second
Yeah.
half. Maybe it was something like that, and
Yes,
it was tight. And then
chance
we
or
gave
two.
up a couple of late goals.
Yeah.
But
We
a
remember.
great season for Darien soccer.
Of course, John used to coach the girls' team. Now the girls' team is coached by Lee Parsons. And the Darien Blue Wave girls soccer team certainly has the opportunity to make a run in the postseason, both in FCIACs, which start on Friday. Still don't know who they're playing, exactly when they're playing, but they will be playing on Friday. They are in. And then, of
Good
course,
step by Freeman.
And what's the difference
state
between
pro-
those two competitions that you were just mentioning?
well, John could speak to this as well. Some people regard the FCIAC as even a stronger tournament in some ways, but it's basically just the conference tournament as
And the
opposed to the states.
It's like
In different
county
classifications.
versus states.
Correct.
I see.
Right. And the FCIAC, obviously, arguably the strongest league in the state. in not just soccer, but many sports. Free kick here for the Blue Wave. Looks like Flaherty will take it, number 2.
So from this distance angle, you're definitely looking for a direct shot.
Oh, he took it well. Oh,
good strike.
Yeah, very
nice
good.
strike.
Left-footed strike. John, how long have you been with the Darien Soccer Association?
Probably 12 years, I think.
And a lot of changes in those 12 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's the same programs. It's just about organization and volunteers, but the numbers have been consistently very high ever since we got here. I've been in town since 2002. Very similar programs to, all the areas in Fairfield County, similar.
Do we have enough facilities in the area? I know there's that debate going on with the Oxbridge proposal. They wanted to put a couple more soccer fields, I think, there, no?
The soccer fields there would definitely be a help for youth soccer. All the changes you're probably aware of with U.S. Soccer changing field sizes.
Yeah.
We've also had to increase some rosters. So we're relatively okay in the fall and the spring. We're very tight. And so yeah, we would benefit. Darien Soccer would definitely benefit, especially probably our 3rd, 4th grade U9, U10 players, where that's where our biggest increase has been.
I see.
Mass substitutions by the Blue Wave as some of these seniors coming back out onto the pitch. Their final game.
Seems to be a fan favorite here that just came in, number 18.
High school career. Hayden Edwards, one of the seniors, who was honored Friday night on senior night in Darien. Well, I have to say, John Gallagher, that the youth programs here in Darien are second to none. Not just soccer, but so many of the pro lacrosse, the DJFL.
Absolutely incredible.
And therein lies the reason why the varsity high school teams in many sports have been so successful. It certainly starts with the feeder programs. Here's Echeverria on the run.
Trouble. Oh, good defense. Oh.
Gets off a shot, but it hits the near post and rolls over the end line.
This field here, is it just soccer and lacrosse? Or
soccer and lacrosse. Yep. I was going to ask you, it's so funny you just said that. I was going to ask you your impressions of this this oval facility here. You've got the soccer field back here.
I think it's fantastic. As a supporter of the Darien Athletic Foundation and all sports here in town, it's always great to see these types of facilities, and I get to use them too. On Saturday or Sundays, sometimes they have pickup here, play soccer, and I just think it's a great asset for the community to have facilities like this. Really
I know
terrific.
You still play yourself. John, do you still play competitively?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're actually on opposing teams.
Maybe we'll try to draft. Maybe we'll try to recruit him after this. The over 40 teams, though, it's getting harder to run on Sundays. Full-length fields. They should reduce them for us.
That's a good ball. Can we get a shot?
No.
It's becoming, I know exactly how you feel, becoming harder to run.
Quick
and it's
play.
Harder to recover.
And then kids come into play, too.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning our own.
I know. Chasing after them is not easy. Good defense there.
Norwalk,
Keep it simple.
Norwalk obviously making some substitutions as well. This game well in hand, up 4-0 with 11 minutes left in the game. The final regular season game for the Darien Blue Wave. Damian Andrew alongside John Gallagher, the president of the Darien Soccer Association, and Lino DeQualo, Darien resident, works for Major League Soccer. How long have you been with the MLS?
I joined them in 2005, so this is going on 13 years coming up. When I started, I think there were only 12 teams. Now we'll be at 23 in January.
That's awesome.
24 after that, with another 4 announced for the coming years. 12 cities have bid on the next 4 franchises.
Is Drew Carey still a part owner of the Portland Timbers?
He is. Oh, no, of Seattle.
Of Seattle FC.
Yes.
Okay.
I had the honor of meeting him a while back. Very enthusiastic.
Huge soccer
team.
fan,
Yes.
yeah. Huge soccer fan.
Yep, he and Joe Roth and Adrian Hanauer. Ownership up there, they do phenomenally well. The team has such great support in the Pacific Northwest.
Valuations continue to go up on a franchise number, right?
Yep.
Oh, good strike.
That was a good little build-up.
Yep.
there.
Will Dixon with a shot.
Yeah, they put a couple passes together and had a shot.
It's a simple game, right, Lino?
If you just do the easiest thing that comes to you, you'd be surprised at what a terrific player you can be. But someone said it's the hardest thing to do the
easy thing.
Yeah.
My dad was a high school baseball basketball coach growing up as
Right.
Norwalk. Nice tackle. Will Harmon with a nice defensive effort there, John.
Put his body on the ball, just couldn't get it from going out of bounds for a corner.
So a corner opportunity for Norwalk. As I was saying, my dad was a high school baseball basketball coach. I didn't know a whole lot about soccer. Went to college at Penn State. Went to the World Cup in '96.
Oh, wow.
And corner serves it up. And I was at the Meadowlands, nosebleeds. And
Went to
it was
Ireland, England?
That was not Ireland, England.
It was Ireland, Italy.
Ireland, Italy.
Ireland,
I
Italy, yeah.
remember. 1-0.
And I was so impressed just watching so far up, just to see how they curve that ball and craft that ball and the artistry and the skill. It was really impressive to me.
Yep.
And that's when I started to kind of get more interested in the game.
That was a good World Cup. Brazil beat Italy in the final. It's not a great final game. Brazil definitely was the better team.
This was one of the early round games.
They had that Ireland, they had Italy. Can't remember the...
There's an Eastern European team that played.
Yeah.
And there was a player who had a goal in that game. It might have been the game you were at. I cannot remember it.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I cannot remember who played in the game I saw. But I went with one of my college buddies who was a huge soccer fan. Of course, Penn State has had good soccer through the years, especially their women's program has been really strong.
Yep, they were. When I was at Rutgers, it was still the Atlantic 10. Penn State had a very good team.
Under 7 minutes to go here.
Oh, good bit of skill by that
Good
guy.
save.
And a great save there.
That's Riley Warble in goal.
Riley Warble in for David Voles.
What year is
Warble is a junior, so he'll be back next year. And gentlemen, you can't see this from where you're sitting, but we just threw in an instant replay.
All right.
Wow.
So it's very cool on that Warble save.
Very cool.
So we're getting there, John.
I love it.
Thanks for pushing us
I
along.
love
And we're live streaming in HD, so the quality is really good.
And are these games available post?
Yes,
the game?
they are available post. You can subscribe to the Darien Athletic Foundation. And when I say subscribe, that's just really the click of the mouse.
And are videos downloadable?
Yes. Yes, they are.
Excellent.
I can talk to you more about that when we're all done. Under 6
A lot of
minutes
these
left.
kids are looking for videos for college.
Absolutely.
And, both teams too. It's not just a Darien thing, but Norwalk player could be using this video himself.
And we try to keep it down the middle as best we can. I know both of you are live in Darien, but in the past we've done some broadcasts with people affiliated with the opposing team. Matter of fact, when we did the New Canaan Darien boys soccer match, we had Nick Williams, the second selectman of New Canaan, whose son plays for the Rams, on the broadcast. He had a blast, had a lot of fun. And then we try to share our link with the opposing schools.
Well, Norwalk player uses his body very well there.
Yep.
Still doing it.
John, let me ask you while we've got a moment here, what has impressed you the most about this Norwalk Bears team, the team that we're going to see in the postseason?
They've got individual players who are standing out, but as a team, they're making very good choices. Their build-up is excellent. You saw their few goals outside of the PK where it was a few passes inside the box that turned into a goal. So, very impressed. Couple players, Echeverry obviously sticking out, but for a lot of good players here, even late in the game, making a difference.
Echeverry, Hidalgo, who you liked, Lino, in that first half. You were impressed with him.
Oh, and good job by the keeper to read that.
Warble comes well off his line to clear that away.
Uh-oh. That didn't look.
That would be a foul on Darien.
Like the Darien player was expecting a shoulder coming into him and didn't get it, and he
good point.
Kind of rolled over him.
Yep.
I could see a hard cross right on the ground. Nope.
Good ball, though.
Yeah.
Good ball into the box. Here's Warble. Crosses midfield. And guys, I think we're going to get this game in just in time by the looks of the clouds coming in.
Soon we'll be doing it. FCIAC playoffs at 2 p.m. and hopefully at home here for the girls.
Is that what time they start those
potentially
games?
Potentially 2, right? I guess when.
Potentially. We still don't know. It's a seeding situation right now. Still don't know yet where the Darien Blue Wave girls team or who they will play. Should have a home match.
A number of years back, the boys had a FCIAC game at, might have even been states, but it was a home game at 2 o'clock, and they started it. It was quiet at 2:20 when the bell rang. It was great. Every student ran out. It was excellent.
John, did you happen to make it over Friday night to senior night?
Yes.
Were you there?
Yep.
That was a really nice atmosphere.
Excellent.
I thought that looked. I thought it was great.
It's great.
A lot of people came out to support the team.
Really enjoyed it. Good tackle.
There's Cesar Rivera. And a nice clear by Jackson Major.
And they don't add time to this. Once that thing counts down, that's it.
That's correct.
Cole Stevenson, Will Dixon, Hayden Edwards, a few of the seniors on the pitch right now for Norwalk as we're under 15 seconds left in this one. Norwalk up 4-0 on Darien, the regular season finale for the Blue Wave. And that will just about do it here from the Oval on the campus of Darien High School. The Norwalk Bears beat the Darien Blue Wave 4-0 on goals from Freddie Rosales, Sayavani Robledo, Sebastian Echeverri, and Michael Ruiz. John Gallagher, your final thoughts on this game. Obviously a tough one for the Blue Wave against a pretty impressive Norwalk team that's on its way to the postseason.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier, Darien didn't keep their heads up. They had a nice end of season. The younger players, something to build upon for next year. And then congratulations to Norwalk. Looked like a very nice team, and I'd like to see them do well in the tournament.
Lino, your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I'd say, unfortunately, it was the first game of the year for me to see, and hopefully as my kids get a little older here, I'll be able to come to many more coming years. But I think the future is bright for Coach John Bradley and the rest of the team. He played what was a younger team here. They held their own for the most part. That's a very good Norwalk team. A couple of difference makers, very good technique, great on the ball. So that wasn't going to be an easy game in the best case. But the group played well. They played with enthusiasm. And I think with this group and some of these other kids that John mentioned could come in next year, we look to the future to have a great season next season. So,
absolutely. I just want to give a quick shout out to our production crew. Will Olson on our field camera, Jack Roberson on our main camera at midfield, and our director producer Brendan Ross, who does a terrific job. For John Gallagher, Lino DeQualo, I'm Damian Andrew. Thanks for watching this DAF Media Network broadcast, and have a great night, everybody.